and welcome to Winter Sowing Part 2. So those of you that watched Part 1 know that I didn't have potting soil, and so I had to put this into 2 parts. I now have my potting soil, although it's not exactly what I was looking for or what I wanted. I am going to show you what I did. I think because we're kind of out of season up here in northern Indiana, potting soil was just not locally in my stores, at least not the good organic kind that I wanted. So I did have to order these online. I got them in the mail. It's not what I thought it was going to be, but I think it's going to work just fine. So this is what I got. There is perlite, a super compost, and earthworm castings. And then I also have like 1/4 a bag of peat moss. So since I couldn't find potting soil locally, I ordered all this, which said it was going to be potting soil, and then it came in separate bags. Really confused me at first, but then I realized I'm supposed to mix it all together. I can add peat moss in there too, and once I have it all mixed together, it'll be very similar to a potting mix. That definitely, when doing winter sowing, you do not want garden soil. It is too thick, too, what's the word I want, dense. Whereas like this bag of perlite, it's 40 pounds, it's super light. And you want light soil so that your seeds are able to grow properly. So I'm going to go ahead and mix this all up, and I will show you the next step. So I have my soil all mixed in together, and you can see now that that looks like a potting mix that you would buy at the store. So basically, the reason why I had to mix my own, like I said in my first winter sowing video, is I don't want any kind of fertilizers. I want all organic soil. I was just not finding that option locally, or when I tried to buy one online, they wouldn't ship to my house, and so I had to go this way of making my own potting soil. But you can definitely go the easier way and just get a bag at the store. You are free to use fertilizers if you are comfortable with doing that. I personally just didn't want to have any fertilizers in my potting soil. So it doesn't have to be, this step could totally be cut out if you're able to find potting soil at your store. But it didn't take too long. I just mixed in, according to the bag, the appropriate measurements, and like I said, that is what a good potting mix soil looks like. So now what I have to do is I have to moisten all this soil, get it really nice and wet. They say the consistency of a sponge. So I have my water spigot right there. I'm gonna go ahead and do that step next, and then we will start filling up the jugs. All right, so I have the soil moistened, and so this is about what I got. You can clump it, but it's not too wet where it's super soggy, but it's like sponge-like. And basically you want to do that to make sure that when you put your seeds in, you don't have to water again, and that way they can settle and be all set to go. If you have to water it, you might misplace your seeds. So it's just better to go ahead and moisten your soil first before you start planting. So now we're gonna put them in the jugs, and I have a little helper. Anna, you gonna help us? Yeah. All right, so Anna and I are gonna start filling up these milk jugs, and I will show you the next step at that point. So Anna's gonna show you the basic steps. Just get some dirt, throw it into your jug, and then smush it down a little bit. Doing a great job, Anna. We can do the next one. So we've got a few done already. Just want to show them. Got a picture of it.
I like this one Coke.
Oh, you're gonna do a Coke bottle next?
Yeah.
So that's the basic step of filling these up. All right, so the next and almost last step Anna's gonna help me with is planting your seed. So today I'm gonna do Indian Spring Mix Hollyhock Mix. And so I'm gonna take the seeds out. I'm gonna read the instructions on the back to see how far spacing. And I think I'm gonna do, it says 12 to 18 inches apart. I think I'm gonna do 4 seeds in my spot. Then I'm going to tape it and label it. So we're going to go ahead and do that real quick, and I'll be back with you. One seed. Good job. Put it in just a little bit into the ground, and then put, yep, just a little bit. Good job. You do not need to pat it down. All right, so we have it all taped up. I labeled a one that I'm going to put on an Excel spreadsheet and say hollyhock, and then I have hollyhock written here. Just double labeling just in case for some reason the weather and the elements, the marker rubs off. Hopefully I'm double checked here. You can see in there. And so this is our very first winter sown flower, right?
Yeah.
And Anna was such a good job. You did such a good job. Thank you. And so now we're gonna go ahead and walk this around into the garden, and I will show you where I will be placing them. And then once I get them all done, I will also do one more video to kind of show the end result. All right, so we are out in my garden. Right, there's where I'm putting the jugs. I'm keeping them out here because I do have a dog, and this is my garden's the only place he's not allowed. So I figured it was the safest place that he won't disturb them. But it will be just left out here all winter long, and in a couple months it will be time to see what I got in there. Hopefully I have some good starts and I can plant them in my garden. I don't know if you guys can see, it is starting to snow a little bit, and so already tonight it should get watered perfectly through that top hole and be all set. So I mean, I can see it's gonna work out perfectly. Very excited. And you will see a part 3 winter sowing this spring when I open them all up and see what we have inside. Hey y'all, so I found it very fitting that as I'm finishing up my last few milk jugs, it is literally snowing outside. It's a little too bright. Get out in here. Look at this. How fitting that I am winter sowing and it's showing signs of true winter here. It's absolutely beautiful, and I'm almost done. I'll show you what I have left here that are mostly flowers, black-eyed Susans, coneflowers, borage, and then some peppermint, wormwood, spearmint, lavender. So just doing some herbs and flowers for now. I'll be doing vegetables later at another date, but I just wanted to show you guys the beautiful snow happening right now. All right, so I am done for the day. I've got all my containers in the garden, planted, ready to go. I'm very excited to see how they turn out. I wanted to end this video with just some last minute thoughts and to apologize that this one was not as organized. I think we all, once you get into a project, things just happen. And so I do apologize as this video was not as organized as my first one. But my few last thoughts I wanted to say was, one, when you're planting, the one that I showed you with Anna was the hollyhock seeds, and they were a lot larger, and so it was easier to know that I put about 4, and then I thought about it and we ended up putting 8 because you never know how many seeds are actually going to germinate, and I wanted to make sure I had a couple in there that will germinate. So when you're deciding how many seeds to put in a pot, just know that you maybe want to put a little bit more than how many you plan on getting, just to make sure in case some of the seeds don't germinate. Secondly, I learned this previously in a video that I watched, that as far as how deep to plant those seeds, you want it to be no deeper than the size of the seed. And so I was doing some peppermint and spearmint, wormwood, I'm trying to think of some of the other ones, but there were some seeds that were so tiny, I literally just sprinkled them on top, and that's all I did. Once they're out there and rain starts falling in on those, rain starts falling on the top down in, it will get the seeds where they need to be. So just know that depending on what you're planting, what size the seeds are, that you don't need to be extremely specific, because they are going to be sitting out there for the next couple months and they will get situated where they need to be. So I wanted to end with those last few tips, and if you have any questions or anything to add to what I have stated in these videos, please leave the comments below or contact me personally so I can help direct you or answer those questions. And yeah, I thank you so much for joining me. And I will be doing a winter sowing part 3 in hopefully 3 to 4 months as those plants start growing. I will try to give you guys updates in other vlogs, but I won't be transplanting anything in any of those jugs until we have the seedlings, which I'm thinking 3 to 4 months we should be able to see those. So again, thank you so much for joining me. Have a great day.